Namaste. I'm Shilpi, and I like to share a little about myself, a little before I started doing what I'm doing, right? Sometime in May, I was introduced to the tool of Ho'oponopono by my very dear friends Kartik and Tanvi. Um, Tanvi and me go many years back, and she's someone who's always been in my life in some fun factor, relating to something fun, something creative always. We've done a couple of diets together, we've had a lot of fun, we followed a spiritual practice for many years together, and one thing led to the other, and she, connected with me and she told me about, understanding the law of abundance. She persuaded me to follow that, Deepak Chopra's audios on abundance. And then she told me about the law of attraction. And then she told me about the Ho'oponopono tool. And earlier, I was like, listened to her and I was like, wow, that's interesting. Maybe one day, maybe one day. And then she told me again, she just out of the blue contacted me, recently, like in May, and she told me about the Ho'oponopono. And she said, Shilpi, I really want you to do this Ho'oponopono. And she taught me the 4 lines of I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And that was a time when my dad was admitted in the hospital in Bombay. And I was a little worried, I was a little concerned. Sometimes you do tend to have doubts and you were like worried. And of course, any daughter would, right? Any of us would worry when you're by yourself with your dad in Bombay. And then I said, okay, let me try. And incidentally, many years back, a very dear friend, Ruchi, who lives also in Bombay, had told me about the tool. And that time, because I was following a different spiritual practice, I somehow said, I can't connect to it. Fine, you know. And then, and that very day, the day I was entering the hospital again in May, my cousin sister called me from Chennai and said, Shilps, the new buzz is this Ho'oponopono tool. A lot of people in Chennai are doing it. You should do it with dad before, when you enter the hospital. And I was like, okay, done. So there's signals coming from every direction. I said, yes. Okay, I'll try. So I still remember dad and me. I said, Baba, friends of mine and Vinita Didi messaged that we should do this. Should we do it? She said, okay, let's try it. So we said these 4 lines: I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. So this is like probably basic Ho'oponopono. I didn't know anything beyond this. Then Tanvi told me a little more about things. And the one thing that she very beautifully said, which I really love, that's what I love about Tanvi. She said, wherever there is fun, Shilpi, that's what you should attract. Go where the fun power is. And for almost about 5 weeks, I did coaching with Karteek Kwatra and Tanvi Gupta, and it was really lovely because it started all about self-love, loving yourself, and they would tell me from Heal Your Life, the book by Louis L. Hay. And this is something that I'd read about Louis L. Hay's book many years back, but somehow I couldn't, it was something you read and you just couldn't connect to. And I'm sure a lot of us have had experiences like this, right? But then they invested so much of their time in me, and that was the start of a lovely journey. And looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, I love you, I love and approve of you, I'm ready to learn and unlearn things. And there were a lot of things, a lot of wonderful exercises, a lot of talking. I was in a different space of my life then, and I was bitter, I was angry, I was scared. There were a lot of things that I was going through, running through my mind then. And then I was like, okay. And then she also told me about Twin Hearts meditation, which is a form of pranic healing. I explored that too. I was connected to a couple of healers. There was Rachna and who lives in Bombay as well. And it was a lovely experience. It was a whole new process. The Twin Hearts meditation was wonderful. I would attend the online sessions on Zoom early morning or evening. I did it with my dad. We did it together. It was even when I came back, I continued it. Again, it was a great new experience. Then that all happened. And then While I was in Bombay, there were these Insta videos that kept popping out on Shilpa Singh, the community of Shilpa Singh. And I was like, what is this? When I came back, I returned to Gurgaon. I said, okay, let me give it a shot. And and then that experience was like, then I just dived into it, totally dived into it, and I share that in my next video with you.